commuting to work. And it's going to capture all the homes that you go nearby within a radius. And then when you're done, you set them in the tour mode, and it will then store all of these homes into a collection. So I can see that I was on a 45-minute tour. I had 18 homes that I found, and I can go view these homes, and all the homes that I came across on that tour that I went on, I can now explore, rate, comment, favorite, and engage in adding to our real estate search. Consumers really like this feature. It allows them to go explore new neighborhoods, check different commutes and routes to work, and see all the beautiful inventory very easily.
Would your consumers like that? Yeah. I think that's a really good value add too for you as agents to be able to take back and say, okay, I drove your route to work, or and here's all your homes on your way to work. Here's that search. It's your commute search or whatever, and any home that's on your route to work is going to pop up on there and just read that.
Can you be driving or walking with the app, like running in your hand the whole time, or can you just start a tour and then like lock your phone and have it running in the background?
Yeah, you can just have it running in the background. Put it in your pocket.
I just want to confirm, I'm guessing that only the homes within your filters are going to come up, or all of them will come up on your route?
This is going to create that search based on the route, and then you can go through and filter it after that to whatever you want that search to be. If you save it as a, there's a save search button. I don't see it right here. I don't know if it's in this, but you can save it as a search instead of just a collection of homes.
It's being generated by what?
Say that again.
So you're walking along and it's being generated based on what?
So just along the route that you're taking, and a defined radius of where you're walking.
You need like from MLS or from what?
Oh, yeah, we have all the information from the MLS. Just like our Keller Williams app has all the information from the MLS. All of that, we have relationships with every single, not every single MLS, most of them. There's a few that we're missing. Feeding into the app, feeding into command, feeding into the consumer experience, feeding into Kelly. Because that's basic information. We need to at least give you the power to be on the same footing with Zillow. Search filters. Search filters are pretty standard, but one of the cool things with this is the ability to define what picture you can see first. So if your consumer's looking for pools, they can only see pools, or as the first picture, because how many of your consumers want a great back patio, but they have to look through every single picture before they actually get to that? We're going to change that for them. And this also has some other cool features around people that are how many people are searching for.
Any real estate app has to have a powerful filter search engine. We're no exception to that. Except for our filters work a little differently than some of the others. So as you see, if we join the filters, the normal filters should come up. But as you start to apply filters, such as if I start to apply a price filter, the system will tell you how unique of a search criteria you're putting into the system. This is going to give you some insight into how many other people are looking for a very similar home. In addition to this, when you go through that filters, you get to decide how you see these results. So for instance, if the kitchen is the most important room for you, inside the filters you can change that you want to see the kitchen as the first picture you see on every home. Using big data to give consumers more insights into their search and giving them the control to change how those results are shown to them by letting them see whatever room they want to see up front gives them the control they need to own their real estate search.
So Josh talks about insights in there, like 40% of other people are looking for this house also. But for me, I'm thinking urgency. I'm going to be able to create a lot of urgency with these clients, because when I tell them that, hey, you want this is the house you want, 90% of the other buyers out there want this house too. And when a house like this pops on the market, it's going to be, a free-for-all. So we need to either tweak this a little bit or be able to come in guns blazing with as high as offer as possible. How many consumers believe you when you say that? Not very many, because they don't have the data backing it up. They don't have those insights in the palm of their hand telling them, hey, you're searching for the same house that everybody else wants, and you better be willing to put as much money down as possible, or ask or as much over asking price as possible. Otherwise, you're not going to get that. Because with us right now, it takes consumers learning after trial and error. Like five of these houses come on the market and they lose them all because they're like, I'll just lowball them a little bit. We'll negotiate. It doesn't happen like that. because they'll be able to see that this is actually, you know, a hot home, and they better go in with as much money as possible, right? Yeah, so that, I mean, that's where I see that being a huge benefit, is being able to create urgency, with your clients. Property detail. Really cool with this too, again, you as the agent are gonna be front and center. This is Paul's pick, plus you are able to put your own little spin on the property and talk about it a little bit. It's a great house in a great neighborhood, I think this would be a good fit for you, whatever that looks like. Obviously, make sure it's real estate commission compliant, or, you know, you're not breaking any laws, steering or anything like that. And also to be able to provide them with more information from the cloud around that property, around the neighborhood, whatever it looks like. Let's talk about it.
When you're on a property detail page, it's really important to get all the information about the house as quickly as possible, so you can obviously do that. A couple things you can do differently in our consumer app that doesn't exist in all the other apps is A, you get the home DNA. The home DNA is designed based off your search criteria, and as the consumer uses the app, you find out what they like and don't like. It trains it, very similar to Amazon or Netflix. Also, in any home, the consumer can easily favorite or hide a home from ever showing up again. In addition to that, if you're working with an agent, the agent's got the ability to recommend and give you comments on why this home might be great for you and your family. We're also going to break down all of the photos by room. So if I drill into the different photos, I can start seeing them by the exterior photos or the living room photos. If I click on an actual photo, it's going to bring up the photo. If I tap it again, it's going to show me all of the tags that it found in that photo. So our AI found that there's curtains and that this is a spacious room with hardwood floors. I, as a consumer, can tell you what I like about these tags, which trains my home DNA. This is going to allow us to have a very curated search for the consumer. And beyond the photos and the normal information you would see, we're going to show you the ability to put in your place of work and calculate commute times. Another really important thing is about collaboration. So you can actually start private discussion on any home by drilling in here and inviting your agent or co-buyers or family members to engage in a conversation right on your app. One of the other really neat features about our property pages is the neighborhood. So anytime you're looking at a property, we'll show you which neighborhood it's in. And we're going to show you some of the key things about that neighborhood easily. You can click one button and it will take you to explore that neighborhood. So you can understand what it's like to live in any neighborhood for any home you come across. And finally, no matter where you are on the property, you're going to see these two buttons on the bottom, which I can either ask Paul, my agent, which will be directed to his calendar command, or I can request a tour. And when I request a tour, this will literally give me a couple options to say, hey, I would love to schedule a tour for this day, for the morning or the evening, and that will go directly to Paul, my agent, to secure that listing appointment for me. When you're on a property detail page,
So we back a ton of stuff into those property detail pages, more than you'll probably find in any other search app, because you're able to have that one-on-one conversation with the agent and press tours, view home DNA stuff, even with pictures. And this was kind of where I was telling you it's going to translate that technology, is going to translate the consumer app. We're going to be able to identify what's in these pictures, what's in these rooms, what do the consumer specifically like, so that we're, instead of us combing through pictures or your consumers combing through pictures to find the houses that have hardwood floors in the master bedroom, they can just search for those, right? Or the app is going to understand that they like those hardwood floors in the bedroom and bubble up houses to the top that have those features in them.
The neighborhood section, the information about great schools or coffee shops, stuff like that, is that just pulling from Google, like these are closest schools, these are closest coffee shops, and you click on it and into there? Where's that coming from?
Yeah, we're working on some data partnerships around that to make sure that we get as much of that information in as possible, whether it's coming from Google or Yelp or whatever that looks like. We're going to make sure that that's in there. And at the same time, we're tweaking insights. So I don't know if any of y'all have been in the lab with insights. I know you have. I see your insights all over the place. Tweaking insights to be able to add tags to those insights, like this is a restaurant or this is a...
Can you explain what insights is to everybody?
Yeah, insights are your ability to go in and provide hyper-local information to your fellow agents and consumers around neighborhoods or cities or zip codes, whatever that looks like. But you can literally drop a pin and say, you know, this is this is the KW Philly office, and here's some great information about it, and here's a cool picture, or, you know, go all around the city. You have used it a lot. How's it been?
It's good. I don't necessarily know exactly what we're gonna use it for yet, but I was told that if you use it, it's gonna be for something cool, so I'm doing it. I trust you.
It is. We're about to release experiences around websites that you're gonna be able to publish those insights into. And then also inside the consumer app, if a consumer uses the app and they're not attached to an agent, all of the insights are gonna pop up by agent. And the ones that are the best, that are published the most, that are upvoted the most, that consumers and agents like the most, are going to bubble up to the top. So high quality, hyper-local information that's very relevant to the people looking in that area is going to be the insights that are going to be the greatest. And then the consumer can click on your insight, say, hey, this person really knows this neighborhood based on this insight. I'm going to add them as my agent. So it becomes almost a lead gen tool.
And that's on KW Connect, correct?
Which one?
Insights
Insights are on Kelly.
on Kelly.
Yeah, right now, Kelly or Command if you're in the labs version of Command. But
The only place you can go for insights is the Kelly app, correct?
Kelly and Command. You can input the, yeah, Kelly or Command. Yeah. It's all gonna work together. Collections. Jumping this really quick. Want to make sure we have enough time for Q&A and jump into the product collections. Think Pinterest boards. We want to give your consumers the ability to go in and pin houses, collect pictures about, like, these are the houses with the great kitchens, here's ones with like great pools, and then have collaborative conversations around those, whether it's with their co-buyer or with their agent, or, you know, say they're, you know, here's all my favorite homes that I want to go on home tours with, and then they can put all those in a collection, or they automatically get put to a collection, and then they can order, rank them, and have conversations around those showings that you took them on. Instead of using pen and paper or whatever other app they're using, they can just use it all, do it all right here. And all of it's saved, all of that communication goes back to you as the agent. You know what those collections look like, you know how they order rank them, you know the conversations that are happening that they include you on, because obviously if they're having the conversation with their spouse and all of a sudden you bring it up the next day, hey, I saw you were talking about this question over there, and then you mentioned that you didn't like me. What's up with that? Then they're gonna get a little bit freaked out, and they probably won't use our app anymore. So, only if they invite you to that. List view, list view where, I mean, it's list view, except in here, we're gonna give you the full functionality to be able to sort and filter the way you wanna sort and filter, and the picture that's gonna show up right there is gonna be the one that you told them to show up. So if you only wanted to see kitchens, kitchens will show up in that list view as you scroll, only the kitchens. And then as you swipe through, it's going to prioritize the kitchens, and then take you to the rest of the house.
And not everyone likes
Neighborhoods. If you've been using Kelly, you've noticed that we, through our exclusive partnership with Nextdoor, we have we should have every neighborhood in the United States. And if we don't, it's because the consumers that live in that neighborhood didn't form a neighborhood with Nextdoor. But we want to be able to give your consumer this information, not only in our mobile app, also we're building a website to go along with this, with this whole experience, so your consumer doesn't have to do their whole real estate process on their phone. They can also do it on their laptop, tablet, whatever they want to use, smart TV. But with these neighborhood views, they can be able to see insights or any other information we're pulling in there, demographic information. So if you're looking, and this becomes really important for consumers that are, say, moving from Austin, Texas to Philly, I have no idea what any of the neighborhoods or areas of Philly are like, where should I be looking, et cetera. You as agents know this information. Like, you tell me a little bit about yourself, I will tell you about some great parts of town that may be great neighborhoods for you. Me as a consumer, I want to go in there, I don't ask those kind of questions, that's just my nature. I go try to figure it out myself, so I spend way too much time driving around town or researching online and can't really find some place that gives me this sort of information. We would be able to provide this for your consumers right off the bat, so that they can go in and say, okay, Barton Hills, here's all the information about Barton Hills, here's what people in the neighborhood are saying, here's what agents are saying, here's what the restaurants, grocery stores, other here's what schools look like, et cetera, here's what the price points are. This would be a great fit for me because it's got high walkability, it's got, most people are dog owners, whatever that looks like. We're trying to bring in all this information from the cloud, put it in here for your consumer to have. Again, all empowered. This is from you because your face is all over this app to the consumer. They start to see you as their source of truth and source of information. I mean, they do that right now, but as data becomes more and more abundant, it's harder and harder and harder to be that source of information. We want to be able to refocus that back on the agent. Again, a lot of stuff that goes in the consumer app. This is a really cool thing. The consumer real estate feed, I'll actually let Josh talk about this because every time I talk about it, I say exactly what Josh says, and you just hear the same thing twice. So
We all have a social feed. We all have a news feed or a sports feed. But no one really has a real estate feed. We tend to solve that. We wanted a place where the consumer could see everything they were curious about in real estate, plus keep track of their home and stay in touch with their agent in one simple curated place. The way that works is as you're out and using the app and looking at neighborhoods, you can easily hit a button and follow the neighborhood. So obviously you'll want to follow the neighborhood you live in, or maybe surrounding neighborhoods or neighborhoods you're thinking about living in. And anything that happens in those neighborhoods, new inventory, trends that's happening, anything that's relevant will be curated in an easy way for you to consume. In addition to that, anything happening with your buying or selling process will show up in your feed. Also, if you claim a home and you put your home information inside the app or your agent did it for you, then important anniversaries such as taxes are coming up, time to change the air filters, or the interest rates have dropped enough to save you a lot of money, all of those things are going to be curated so you can track the neighborhood you're interested in, nearby activity, what your agent has to say, and what's going on with your home, all in one curated place around your real estate feed.
So, from a real estate business standpoint, where I see that being most valuable for us is it becomes a pipeline of communication to our consumer. With you as an agent being able to push stuff out there for your database in mass is going to be much more valuable for you than obviously sending out emails. Unless your consumers are looking at emails, which some of my clients have unsubscribed from my emails, and I don't, because people don't like emails anymore, right? Once they're done with a transaction, they stop looking at your emails. But nobody's unsubscribing from social feeds. I mean, there are people that do. I have to do it sometimes because somebody's talking way too much about something I don't want to see on Facebook, so I unsubscribe from them or unfollow. But with this, this whole app being your app, your curated information for your consumer, they're not going to turn you off. You can push information. You can put your newsletters on this feed. You can put event invites on this feed. You can talk one-on-one with your consumer through this feed, or be able to push specific information relevant to them to hear. We wanted to create an even bigger pipeline for you to be able to push your consumer. The way I see this working is eventually, this is going to be where our 33 touches live. Or however many touches you have, 65, 110, whatever. It's going to live within this feed, and you're going to be able to push that information right there, so your consumer's always seeing it every time they go in there instead of it getting lost in their inbox. How would this help y'all? How do you see this helping you in your business?
You can just tell them when you initially, when it's at point blank, like you're buying in at like a certain price point, and you can sell at a certain price point in a certain amount of years. It's an appreciating market. I was gonna ask you, can you export like the statistics on like what makes that number, like if I just show, an investor 310K appreciating 379K, he's going to want to know why. Like, what are those like specific market factors, and like would I be able to like pull in like different spreadsheets that would kind of
Yes, to be able to.
force the.
I love that. Like, so be able to take those trends. Here's the trends of like what's all the supporting data that backs up those trends.
Yeah.
I like that. We're going to have all the information because we're making those calculations.
But I think like having that like would be really like kind of beneficial. Just it gives that.
Yeah, it's a great marketing piece. I like that.
Cool. I like it too.
Yeah. And that's, again, part of the last process, you guys know, he's been involved in it a lot. If you have great ideas, don't feel free to bring them up, because we will take them all, we'll put them in here. Obviously, the consumer app, a lot more of the input and feedback is being driven by consumers, because, you know, as real estate agents, we're like, well, if it's a consumer app, every page they click on, I just want it to drive a lead to me, or something like that. That's all, right? Click funnels everywhere. So here's our biggest game changer with the consumer app, and where I think the stickiness, once a consumer does a home buying or selling process through something we're calling guide or timeline, I think they're debating what that term is gonna be, it's gonna be hard for your consumer to go anywhere else to buy or sell a house, and they're gonna stick with you the whole time. I believe, as long as you don't screw it up, right? Which we do sometimes, but as long as they have a good experience through here, they're never gonna want to buy or sell a house anywhere else. So this is our ability to give on-demand information and be able to provide a timeline to consumers, so that through the guide, how many of you with a buyer or seller, you get under contract or you submit an offer, or you know, there's some pivotal moment in that buying or selling process where your consumer is freaking out and sending you text messages or trying to call you at all hours of the night, wondering what's happening or what's next or what do I need to know? How many times does that happen? All the time, right? Because consumers are emotional people and they freak out. You've probably done this process 100 different times. This is their only time ever in their life that they're going to buy or sell a house, and it's a big deal. And so we want to be able to provide a platform of information so that they don't have to reach out to you. They can just come in here and feel confident in what's happening. I'll let Josh talk about it a little bit. Plus, this is fully connected to Command, and so you see everything that's happening, and you can make this personalized to anything, however your process looks.
One of my personal favorite parts about the app is the guide. And before we go into the demo of it, it's important to explain why this is so important. In the 1990s, I would spend a lot of time with my family, and we'd have a movie night. We call it the pizza. And at the pizza guide,
Pause that real quick for anybody that's like, wait a minute, the 1990s, sitting with his family. Josh is a young guy, right? He's very young. He's probably younger than most of us in this room, but genius. Okay. He's one of those young child hackers that dropped out of college and made a ton of money coding. So.
didn't get there, and when we think you would, we'd set up and we'd call the pizza Hut place or Domino's, and we'd say, hey, where's the driver? Where's my pizza? And they'd say, oh, he just left, or he hasn't left yet, and we're like, great. But the truth is, I didn't want an on-demand pizza shop. I wanted on-demand information about where the driver was, no different than the problem Uber solved. One of the things that Uber gives you is it gives you on-demand information about where your car is. Well, real estate agents have this need where the consumer wants an on-demand agent. But the truth is, just like with Uber, and just like with Domino's, the consumer doesn't want an on-demand agent, it wants on-demand information. The challenge is, the agent doesn't have a way to give that information to the consumer on demand yet. Now they do. As you're using Command, and you're simply working a deal through Command, through the stages of Command, the consumer gets to have real-time information on what's happening, what you're doing on their behalf, and what's coming next. Let me walk you through that. So I'm working with Paul, who's on the Armstrong real estate team, and I click on Guide, and he walks me through this process. So Paul's gone in here, and the Armstrong real estate team, and they put in how this process will work for them. Once I get started, Paul's now created a video that I get to watch. It's going to walk me through in more detail what's going to happen. After we drill in, I'm now on the buying side. I can be buying, or I could be selling. But on the buying side, I can now see an entire journey of everything that's got to be spent. I can see how long this process will take, all the steps in this process, and the coolest part about this whole process is that you as the agent, you're just managing your deal inside of your normal command. You're not having to do a whole lot of effort. You're literally just working the process. As you work that process, their consumer app sees the information when you're ready for them to see it, and immediately notifies them. This removes the need for an on-demand agent because they have on-demand information. One of my personal favorite.
So, one cool thing with that too, say you're working with a transaction coordinator, or you're on a team, or you have a team, we're gonna be able to, through command, this is connected to everybody that you're working with, period. And so you can assign at each stage of this, these are the people that are involved in this process, so when they reach out, they understand that, hey, I need to reach out to the transaction coordinator right now, not my agent. So they're not calling, you're not the bottleneck of information, you're facilitating the conversation through your app. And every step of the way too, being able to provide more and more information. So it's not just a card, a little bit of information there, it's a card with a detailed explanation about what's happening. Again, so they're not texting you. We want to make sure that you give them the on-demand information right here, so your cell phone number does not become their immediate go-to for on-demand information. So,
Are you able to like add information to these steps? Just if you want to
Absolutely.
add optional things?
you can make this as customized as you want to make it. Whatever your process is, obviously processes are completely different across the country, so you can tweak those to be exactly what you need them to be, and have it put as much information in there as you want, or as little information as you want. Again, we want to make this as easy as possible, so we're going to pre-build it out for your consumers, and then it's just going to change based on who they're working with. And if you have a team, you can come in here, set this up, and your whole team, it'll work the same way for your whole team. This example with, what was his name? Paul. The example with Paul is he's on the Armstrong team, and there's some people on the team that are collaborating with him in this process. And actually, I think some of those are for consumers. Any questions? That was my last slide with the.
You made sense in the beginning, I was a couple of this late. The consumer-facing stuff, though, is the furthest out from being rolled out, correct? Because now we can play with some of the agent stuff, but the consumer-facing stuff is furthest out.
Right, so this was all the consumer stuff. We have to build the foundations to be able to support the consumer stuff. And what does that look like? Well, we need market center systems to support agent systems, to support consumer systems. So that's why we're building all those tools so that we can support this at a high level. At the beginning of that was the big connected data. We needed that base, that platform. Then we needed AI to be able to understand that data and push it to the market centers so that we can get more data. And push it to the agents so that we can get that middle piece, that connection between the consumer and the market and the brokerage, and get all that information so we can provide the ultimate consumer experience.
So realistically, when is my consumer going to be able to see this?
When is your consumer going to be able to see this? The date that has been pushed out there is family reunion time-ish. It's not a date, that's an ish, but.
He's
That-
not,
I'm
he's
not-
not believing it.
You don't believe me?
I don't know.
Why don't you believe me?
Just because I've been to 4 family reunions and something's always pushed back a bunch, to be honest. I mean,
No, yeah, no.
including with our technology.
I believe you. That was before we decided to build it
Sure.
ourselves. I don't know, Noah, you've been in the room a lot. That's what
That's the date I've been hearing.
Gary and Josh would say, family reunion as the date when,
I heard March 1st, which is basically February.
Consciously optimistic.
well, this is also being, like, we have separate teams working on, I mean, with over 400 people touching the product, we have separate teams working on it, so I really think that a lot of this is gonna be done before a lot of the agent stuff is completely done. Because it's just so big. This is just tip of the iceberg, this is so big. And the agent stuff is even bigger, because you're running a whole business, not just buying or selling a house. And we need to be able to support as much of that as possible. I got 190,000 agents across the country, not across the country, across the world, that are providing feedback and giving us input on what we need to be building, and we're taking all those things, and if it gets enough traction, we're building it. We're building everything from tools to help you help people buy and sell houses, to recruit new talent for your teams, or to work with you, or for your downlines, whatever that looks like. And at the same time, be able to manage your marketing assets, to just manage your database, to communicate with your market center, to communicate with your specific groups of people that you want to talk to around the country, to help you do script practice, to help you, I don't know, I'm missing a lot, obviously, there's a ton. To help you do Facebook advertising, Google advertising, Instagram advertising, build websites. I mean, literally, if you can think of it, we're considering it, we're either doing it or it's on the roadmap to happen. It's a massive, massive process. So, with that, it's 10:30. If you want to take a 5-minute break, I know everybody's been sucking down coffee because it's way too early for real estate agents to be up. I've been sucking coffee too, a lot. So 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and 10:40, and jump into some Q&A and also some product demos.
There's things that are gonna be said that people are probably not so They can't just see it now.